Hi everybody, I am Lisa Shelley, Community Manager for Formula Botanica, and I'm here with the lovely Suzanne, and we're going to be talking about hair. So welcome everyone, congratulations for joining us. Suzanne, do you want to say a little hello?
Hi everyone, it's great to be here. Thanks so much, Lisa. I'm excited. This is my favorite topic.
This is Suzanne's thing. We can't stop her talking about it. So we were like, you know what, we get so many questions in the community. We have enrollment coming up. We have loads of questions about hair. Suzanne is the person to go to. And there are so many reasons why starting a hair care brand is where the time is now, basically. So we thought we'd answer a few of those questions for you, show you why, talk a little bit about the course we offer on it, and who better to talk to than the lovely Suzanne, who has her own brand. Suzanne, tell us a little bit about your brand.
Oh my goodness. Hi. Thanks. Thanks everybody for joining in. Thanks, Lisa, for the question. So yes, as you mentioned, I'm always really excited when enrollment time comes around because I try and get as many people joining to learn to study the diploma in organic hair care formulation. This is such an incredible course, and as I often mention, it's challenging, it's rewarding, it's so exciting. And yes, I launched my line of hair care products in November last year, and it's been going really well. My brand is called Bloom, and it's all hair care. So yeah.
That's great. And I know we have people in the comments as well, and they do have the link to Suzanne's brand. So if we could share that just so people can take a little look about what Suzanne's up to, maybe give us some support, maybe buy some of her products. That would be absolutely amazing. I'm just going to say a few hellos. We've got Annette. People have got such interesting names. Dactyloratitha, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Claudine, Denise is here. Hello, Denise. JB, Kirsten. Hello to everyone. And as we're going along, if you do have a question, just throw it out there. We'll definitely get to them at the end, but we'll probably throw up a few in the middle as well. So if you do have a question, anything you've heard or anything you can think of to do with maybe starting your own brand or asking Suzanne from first-hand experience what it was like starting her brand, please do give it to us because the time is now. We're not going to do another one of these about hair care for a while. So please do use this opportunity to ask us a question. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about hair care, why there might be 5 good reasons. We're going to do 5. There must be like 100, but we're only going to do 5. Why it's a good time to start a hair care brand. Suzanne's going to talk a little bit about the course and show like 10 tips of what she actually took away from it and a few things you might actually would have thought of. And we're going to take some questions as well. So we're going to kick off straight away. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. And Suzanne, what would we say the number 1 reason for starting a hair care brand is, or what is number 1 on our list?
Well, to be honest, I don't know if there is a number 1, but the number 1 I would have to pick is because you can. So people's attitudes are changing. We have really... a lot of people have been focusing on the skincare, and since COVID, since we had the pandemic now and everybody was masked, a lot of direction started shifting to hair because we want our hair to be healthy, we want our hair to look shiny, and we realized that there is more to us than just our face. There's our hair, and we can do so much to make it healthy, to make it look gorgeous, and to also be a part or a reflection of our personality. So I think the fact that you can launch a hair care brand is something that we all need to consider. So aside from these gorgeous graduates that we have at Formula Botanica, we have also so many more new students graduating from the diploma in organic hair care formulation and launching these brands of hair care products. And I think it's just amazing. So consumers are, of course, looking for more natural hair care, and people are looking to put less products on their hair because, as we know, everything that you put on your skin and on your hair will end up being flushed down the drain. And this causes some concern. A lot of us are focusing on healthier things, healthier ingredients that we can use to make our hair care products. So there's so much out there. There's so many amazing ingredients being developed. And if we look at some of the manufacturers, they're even coming up with so many new ingredients because people are asking for them. So that's...
I think, yeah, that's it. I think people's attitudes have completely changed. If we look at skincare, we can sometimes get the feeling like we see so many new skincare brands like starting, but with hair care, there really is that space. There is still that space. It hasn't been conquered yet. So, and it does take a little bit of time to get your own hair care brand obviously going. You can't do it overnight, but the rewards are there and the space is there for your brand. And Suzanne is reaping the rewards. We'll talk a little bit about that later, but Suzanne is definitely reaping the rewards of that right now. So take advantage of the fact that attitudes in the industry are changing as we speak. So don't feel like the market is completely saturated. There is room for everyone. The world is a big, big, big place.
Yes.
What would we say number 2 is, Suzanne?
Okay, so number 2, because as I mentioned, so many formulators, so many graduates have developed skincare products, and some skincare products can be much easier to make than hair care products. But in addition to having a skincare product, you have a captive audience. So if you have a brand that you've already launched and you're offering body butters, lotions, and creams for the skin, or anti-aging skincare products, that captive audience is going to be loyal to your brand. And as part of that, you can say, hey, another thing we have is a great shampoo. And I'll give you an example. I developed this shampoo bar, and some of you have seen it, some of you haven't. So this is a shampoo on one side and a conditioner on the other. It's amazing. And with a captive audience that you already have, if you do have a brand, you can say to them, I have this shampoo bar, or I have this leave-in hair conditioner that I've been testing out, and they will be eager to listen. So it's a great opportunity to add on to your existing brand. And in order to do that, there's a lot to learn when it comes to hair care. It's not an easy thing. Hair can be finicky, as we all know, but you really need to consider taking it through Formula Botanica, because it's such a supportive community and the course is just great. There's so much you can learn. So if you take the course and you graduate, then you'll have all of us on your side as well, and all the skincare formulators on top of that. So a big, great community.
Exactly. And if you do join us, you get access to the exclusive Diploma in Organic Hair Care Formulation Facebook group, where everyone is in there. All of our students taking the course are in there, and they share their tips and their advice and guidance to everyone else who is actually taking the course. So you really don't feel like you're on your own. Suzanne's absolutely correct. It is easier to do it when you have a community and when you have support around you as well. And you can have fun in there too. It's not just about all business. You know, I've seen so many amazing pictures in there the last couple of months. We really have to share more of them in the Skincare Entrepreneur Mastermind, because people have just been creating such amazing things. And it's support. You'd think it would be competition, but it's not. Everyone is just there ready to give their, thoughts on people making formulations for shampoos, conditioners, solid shampoo bars, all sorts of stuff, oils. It really is amazing in there. And Suzanne's a great contributor as well. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Thank you. It is a really great group. The study group is on Facebook, as Lisa mentioned, and is specific to the Diploma in Organic Hair Care Formulation. So when you're there, you can ask things like, which surfactant might be better for me to add in, a conditioning shampoo, for example. And then you have people pitching in their support and their input. Some other students and graduates can share as well, and they can say, I tried this ingredient and it worked really well, or I didn't really like this ingredient. So it's amazing. And we couple, of course, all the courses with our supplier guide, which has been a really big job that Formula Botanica did in putting together over 400 suppliers that you will have access to, depending on your country, your region. So it's just a fountain of information. It's awesome.
Yeah, it takes away a big part of the research and a big part of the hard work as well as soon as you start, because obviously it takes a lot of time to find those resources on the internet. You can never really trust sometimes of what you're actually looking at. So that's a very, very good point. I just want to go quickly to the community. Thank you everyone for joining us. We have some new people. Sarah, Jean Neves I've got here, Monica, who else do you have? People from Florida, Tinuk. Thank you everyone for joining us. I just want to ask everyone if you formulated before, because it doesn't matter. It is always interesting to know. So have you formulated before? I really want to know the answer, what kind of percentages we can get up here. And I'm just going to throw a question just in the middle of our 5 reasons, because we would love to hear a little bit more from Suzanne. And we have a question for you from IHAS, says, what does your hair care brand focus on? So what do you like to focus on, Suzanne, with your brand?
Okay, so as you know, there are over 12 different hair types, and it's really difficult to focus on one specific hair type, because I feel, and from the research that I've learned and also from the course, is that not every person has one particular hair type on their head. So you can have straight hair on the top, wavy hair, curly hair portions. You can have a combination of dry hair with oily hair. So my specific brand focused more on the type of products that I wanted to focus on, which is eco-friendly hair care. I consider myself an eco-warrior. I raise butterflies, I advocate for bees, and so the ingredients that I use are really important to me to make sure they are fully biodegradable. And we're living in an era where we're really lucky that manufacturers are developing amazing products that are completely biodegradable. So I didn't want to use anything that was ethoxylated or any ingredient that was petroleum derived. I don't use silicones in my hair care products. So that was really important to me. So the focus for my particular brand, for example, was to make sure that all my packaging was fully sustainable. I used aluminum packaging, for example, in some of my products. And aluminum is 100% infinitely recyclable. And so that was really important to me. And then, of course, we have, the different shampoo bars that people use that are no packaging is virtually used. So that's really important to me. And also on multitasking products. I felt that a lot of hair care brands out there in the market, for example, if you have wavy or curly or coily hair, will want you to put 5, 6, or 7 different products in your hair in order for it to be effective. I wanted to eliminate a lot of that and create ingredients and products that were multitasking.
Yeah, less is more.
That's something that a lot of people are looking for. So, for example, I created this leave-in conditioning gel. So if you have curly or coily hair, you can put your leave-in conditioner and also your gel at the same time. That way you're eliminating a lot of the packaging and a lot of the ingredients that will end up flushing down the drain and possibly causing an issue for Mother Earth. So I think it is possible, and that's what my brand focuses on. So eco-friendly, healthy scalp. Yeah. I hope that answers the question. And on that note, I just wanted to add, if all of you can add your questions in the comment boxes, I would love this as an opportunity for you to just answer some of your questions regarding the diploma in organic hair care formulation, as well as if you have any questions about hair products or what can you learn, or if you have any questions, please do post them below. And I see that Lisa's system is frozen up, so I'm going to be going through these a little bit more as you go along. It looks like Lisa has left us temporarily. I'm sure she will be returning back. So I have some questions coming up here. And let me see. Can a hair care product ever be really for every hair type? This is a question from Denise. This is a really good question. And there we go. Hey, I got that working. So I think it depends on the product, because I do think that some hair cleansers can be for many different hair types. Oh, Lisa's back. Hello. We missed you. Okay, we can't hear you, Lisa, but here we go. Okay. Okay. So we're asking the question, can any hair care product ever really be for every hair type? So I think yes, and also no. And I think it depends on which product you're looking at. For example, some cleansers, like hair cleansers, yes, I do think you can make a multi-purpose hair cleanser as long as it's very gentle and as long as it doesn't have any heavy body butters, heavy oils, that kind of thing. So then I would say that wouldn't work for some type 1 hairs, for example, or people who tend to have an oilier scalp. But I'll give you an example. And with this one, as we were talking about, this is a powdered shampoo that I make. And you would just need to add a teaspoon of it into a cup of water and mix it, and it cleanses your hair. But because it is nature-derived ingredients, it doesn't have anything too heavy. It cleanses your scalp and it cleanses your hair. And so anybody can use it. I've had every hair type try it out. And so, yes, because of that, I can speak from experience and from all the testers that I've had and the clients that have purchased it, that yes, you can make some products. If you're looking at different products like leave-in conditioners or masks for hair, then possibly not for every hair type, because it may be too oily for some people, or it may be too drying for other people, or not enough. So I hope that answers the question.
Can you hear me, Suzanne?
I can hear you.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
You're back.
You can hear me then. Hi, sorry everybody. So where did we get up to? Are we on number 3?
Yes, we are on number 3.
Okay. So did you answer number 3 or are we on number 3?
No, I just answered some of the questions that
are okay, great.
From the yes. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. I see lots of questions coming up here. So and also I see some people are yes, some of the links are being shared as well to the more information about the diploma in organic hair care formulation, which is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that link. So if any of you have any questions specifically about how long is the course, what kinds of things are taught within the course, then click on that link because you'll find everything there.
And more importantly as well, if we could share the pre-enroll link, which is actually in the description, but I know the team have it as well, because that is what you need if you're thinking of studying with us on Thursday, 6th of July. That's when we open enrollment. So just click on that pre-enroll link, get your name and email address down so we can keep you updated. And that is the way to do it. So should we move on to point 3?
Yes. So point 3, how can people use different hair care types to create something personal to them? So I think part of the amazing thing that the Diploma in Organic Hair Care formulation taught me was just a knowledge of different hair types. And we've seen a lot of students and even a lot of people in the Skincare Entrepreneur Mastermind group, which is the free group that you can join. Some people have asked, I've made a shampoo and it's not foaming enough or it's not cleansing enough. So that's where the different hair types come in. Because I think as many hair types as we also have different scalp needs. Some people need something that is more for a sensitive scalp, or maybe you're washing a lot of big hair, like mine, a lot of hair. So you'll need to customize the different ingredients depending on the type of hair that you're formulating for. And then it's just a lot of testing. So when it comes to launching your hair care brand later, you'll have to identify the target market that you're aiming for. We've had some graduates that have developed, for example, Uzima, who is one of our lovely students with Formula Botanica. She launched a brand that targets specifically coily hair, Afro textured hair. And so it is possible to make different products for different hair types, but that will also cater to people that have maybe wavy hair. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. I just want to say thank you to everybody's questions. I've pinned them and I have about 11, and we're going to come back to all of those because we can get sidetracked on our list here. But yeah, the questions are great, so please do keep them coming. Okay, so number 4, and this is a really important one, number 4, because people often think that there isn't any room. But what would we say to people is another reason why they can start a hair care brand?
Okay, so there is so much room to grow, obviously, and I had some statistics that I pulled just quickly so you can get an idea of what's happening in the market when it comes to the hair care industry. For example, number 1 is the hair care sector is valued at 85 billion US dollars. That's a big chunk that we have an opportunity to participate in. I mean, making skincare products is so fantastic, and I love making skincare products as well. In fact, I've learned from the diploma in organic skincare formulation that how to make everything that my family and friends would need. Everything from cleansers to lotions to creams and masks, scrubs, all kinds of things. But then what about the hair? We're leaving the hair aside. So we have an opportunity to build onto that. And another opportunity is the fact that the natural hair care portion is worth $9 billion a year, US dollars. So that's 1/10 of the hair care sector in only naturally derived hair care products. I mean, that's an astounding number. So
That's amazing. And the bigger brands are trying to they're trying to kind of pretend almost when you see those big brands and it has on it avocado oil and like they can say that, they're allowed to say that, but one doesn't have to actually be avocado oil. Now that sounds really, really strange. And two, they're kind of making it seem like the quantity is so much bigger than it actually is. And people have cottoned onto that. People realize that that isn't actually the case. And people are searching for these natural organic brands. And people want these products. The products that you're thinking about formulating, people want them and they're trying to search for them. And that is why Suzanne has just shared those facts, because the proof is in the pudding. It is out there. People do want them.
Yes, and I think in the hair care sector, we often talk about silicones, whether they're good for hair, whether they're bad for hair. I'm personally impartial, depending on the type of silicone. And I'll tell you why. It's because there are basically 3 different types of silicones that you can use in your hair care products. You could use water-based, water-soluble silicone in your hair care products, and that will be flushed down the drain. But I think, why? Because we have so many natural plant-derived alternatives to silicone that are actually going to do so much more for your hair and your scalp than using just silicone derivatives. So, it's a matter of opinion, and I think from the standpoint of using something that is infused with nature's goodness, there are so many herbs that you can use in your hair care products. So that's the reason why I don't use silicones, because I don't need to. For other people do, but it's an example of what people are looking for in today's market. They want something that is silicone free. So we can give them that very easily.
Exactly. Yeah, that's infused with nature's goodness. That's a great way to put it. Okay, so we're on to point number 5, and this is it's a study that I looked up. And what would we say number 5 is a really good reason to start a hair care brand, Suzanne?
A really good reason is because I think hair care is all about repair and prevention. So it's all about repairing your hair. And there's one thing that I learned in the Diploma in Organic Hair Care Formulation course is that hair is dead. And I felt so sad when I learned this.
A lot of people don't know that. It is.
What?
Yeah.
Hair is dead. So once your hair leaves your scalp, once it leaves the hair follicle, it's dead matter. It just sort of will flop there. But there's a lot that you can do to make it look healthier and make it not frizzy and make it, so to protect it from the elements, from weather, from styling products, or from styling elements like hair dryers. So there's a lot that you can do to prevent. So I think that point number 5, and the reason why, is because we have learned that there are billions and billions of dollars being spent on hair care brands. And even hair loss is a big business. But so using gentle products and using derived based ingredients in your hair care products is such a great opportunity for us to jump in and be a part of that.
Exactly. So the name of the game is that repair is becoming so popular. It's what people are Googling. It's the SEO. It's what people are searching for. And they've gotten down to the fact that these big brands are just covering all the people's head in silicones, pretending that it's actually healthy, but it's not. And that is what natural organic products do. They actually repair it and they actually solve the issue that people have with their hair and their skin and things like that. So repair is the name of the game here. And why natural organic products are going up. And becoming more popular.
Definitely repair and prevention, because I think we have learned that there is a natural microbiome on our scalp. So that's like the gut flora that we all know about, but this one's on the scalp and it's affected by what you put on your scalp. So every ingredient that you put on your scalp, even water, and depending on the pH of the water and the pH of your ingredients, can affect your scalp and the health of your scalp, which in turn affects the health of your hair as it grows out of your scalp. So as we learn this, then isn't it a great opportunity to launch, for example, some really gentle, beautiful multi-purpose ingredients or products that are going to be great for the scalp microbiome. And now if you Google microbiome on the scalp, you can see so many different things popping up because it's a hot topic.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. Correct. Right, we're going to get through to some questions now. Now, some of these, Suzanne, about your brand. Some of these are about like top tips because people are actually already kind of practicing with hair care. So well done to everybody out there. There's a mixed bag in here. So we're going to go through and we're going to see what you can answer. This one here, Betsy is looking for a sneaky tip because she's actually already tried to formulate something. So we'll see if you can answer this one. Okay, so I struggle to get a clear shampoo using natural ingredients. So I've added a pearlizer to some, then it's white/creamy, but I'd like to know if you have any secrets to get it clear. So do you have any advice to this person who's trying to create a shampoo?
Yeah, that's a bit of a tough one because some of these pearlizer ingredients are not accepted in natural formulation. So we either go all out and create a completely clear product, or we create something that is like a cleansing conditioner or a conditioning shampoo, which will not be clear. So there are two ways to go about it, and it really depends on the type of ingredients that you're using. So if your shampoo is murky and it's not totally clear, I would have to really look at the types of ingredients that you're using to determine why. Sometimes it is because you may be using, an essential oil or something like that. It can make it a little bit murky, or because the ingredient itself isn't completely clear. It is possible. I've done completely clear shampoos, and there is actually one in the Formula Botanica blog, which will be linked, I'm sure, in the comments. So if you're looking at making a really, really clear, we have it as a clarifying shampoo. So those can be really clear. But as soon as you start adding conditioning ingredients, then you're looking at something that may not be totally clear.
Yeah, I would say, Betsy, do exactly what Suzanne said. Look at that blog post. I'm sure our team will be able to share it in the comments. And also, if you're not a member of our Skincare Entrepreneur Mastermind group, become a member. Post pictures up of what you've created if you have it, and just ask people for their help. There won't be as detailed probably as the hair care Facebook group that we have dedicated to it, because that's only for hair care. And obviously you get, to become a member of that, if you become a student. But it's a great place to start. And that's really good advice, Suzanne. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. And on that note, I just wanted to mention again the study group, because if you join in the Diploma in Organic Hair Care formulation and you were a student, you would be able to post these types of questions in the study group and get feedback from other students and other graduates. I would have then asked you typically to share your ingredients, and you would have shared the ingredients you use, and I could have been able to give you a lot more feedback. So that's something to consider.
Absolutely. Okay, this is a question about your brand. Can't see them named this person, but they say, do you plan to create any hair care products for any heat protection for people who use a flat iron? So any idea on expanding, Suzanne, happening anytime soon?
Yes, I would say don't use a flat iron. I've actually created a hair elixir, I call it. It's part of one of the products in my brand. And it's a combination of sealing carrier oils and protecting carrier oils that you can put on your hair. Now, it's a tough one when it comes to heat protection because it really depends on the ingredients. Now, there seems to be a little bit of a misconception that it's actually the oils are going to burn in your hair with your flat iron. It can and it can't be. Some oils, as we know, are a lot more heat stable than others. So it really depends. I personally don't think I would be creating something specific to protect the hair from flat iron use because the type of people, the niche that I cater to wouldn't necessarily use flat irons, or I promote people to use less heating products in your hair because it really damages your hair. But if you are interested in creating something like that yourself, we would be more than happy to guide you and give you ideas to different ingredients that you could use that are heat stable.
Exactly. And I mean, I appreciate and I understand what Suzanne is saying, because we all know we shouldn't use heat appliances on our hair too much, but sometimes we just have to, because it's just the way it goes. We all do it. So yeah, that's a great question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great question from Louise, which I should bring up.
How did you know it? Oh, it disappeared.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, Louise. Okay, so how did you know your products were good enough to start a business? No doubt yours are amazing. So when did you know,
that's so
Suzanne?
sweet. Yeah, what a sweet comment. Yes, they are amazing. It's funny because I think when you launch a brand, regardless of whether it's a hair care brand or a skincare brand, you're never 100%. But the best advice that I can give you is when you have a hero ingredient that you're really proud of, that you're really happy with, then have it tested. And have it tested by 25 people. Have it tested by 50 people if you can. And get their feedback, because that kind of feedback has been huge for me to gain confidence and maybe have to tweak your formulation a little bit before you launch. And then also remember that even after you launch, you can change things. You might tweak some of the ingredients, you might change out some of the ingredients. And depending on the country that you live or you work in, you'll have to get them tested by a lab again if you change the formulations. For me, it was worth it with one product. But you test it, and until you find something that you're completely happy with. Again, I'll show you this shampoo bar and I'll tell you it was a bit of a pain in the butt to make. I can say that, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it was a pain to make, and I did have to change it a couple of times because one of my main ingredients was discontinued. And so I had to reformulate it. I had to have it retest it and experiment with it. And that's normal in the industry. I don't think there's any manufacturer that has one product, keeps it the same for 20 years, so it's constantly evolving. So don't feel like you're nervous to start or launch. Don't let that hold you back.
Yeah, everybody has to start off at the same point. I think people do forget that. They see all these kind of finished brands and they think it's too much, but everyone starts at the same place and everyone had those doubts before. You just need to push through it and ask questions wherever you can, get over that hump, and we're on the other side, basically, to help you as you go through. Great question, Louise. Thank you. Okay, so we did talk about this actually, because we talked about formulating on the difference between skincare and hair care. But we have a question that says, is there a lot of overlap in ingredients between skincare and hair care? So what do we think, Suzanne?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. In fact, in a pinch, you can use a hand lotion on your hair. Like in a pinch, many of those products are actually pretty much the same. Many of the emulsifiers you'll use are the same. The carrier oils, the preservatives, the essential oils, like a lot of those will be the same. The difference is that with hair care products, if you're making a cleansing hair product, you're adding on surfactants. And when it comes to hair, it's a different pH. And that's something I had a top 10 list of things that I learned in the Diploma in Organic Hair Care Formulation course. And that was one of the things I was going to mention, is that the hair and the scalp actually need different pH. And that's why a lot of the products for the hair are not meant for the scalp, and vice versa. So that's why a lot of people will say, wash your scalp, not your hair, and condition your hair, not your scalp. So yeah. So yes, a lot of the ingredients do overlap.
Well, we'll go into some of your top 10 now, actually, because Canny asks a really great question. So we can do like an overview of the course and bring up some of your tips, because she asks, so what are we going to cover in the hair care diploma course? So I know there's a lot, but if you had to kind of like sum up the stages of what actually happens, what does the course look like?
Okay, so there are over 40 formulations that you'll learn to make in this course. And by 40, I mean you'll learn how to make cleansing products, conditioning products, styling products. And within each one of those categories, there are lots. So, in terms of cleansing, for example, you'll learn to make a clarifying shampoo, a conditioning shampoo, a co-wash, a shampoo bar. So that's just 4 different ones that I give you an example for just in cleansing. And then when it comes to conditioning, you'll learn how to make a leave-in conditioner, a conditioner for hair, a conditioner bar. So there's a lot. There's a lot that you will learn. There are many, many things. So, and within those things, you'll have to, of course, see what you like making best and see what excites you, because I think it's different for all of us. I think there are some graduates that have been totally loving the shampoo bars, and some that say, no, a shampoo bar is not for me. I prefer the liquid product, and they focus on that.
And people are always surprised as well. I think a lot of people go in, especially with the hair care course, thinking, yeah, it's going to be this, it's going to be that I'm going to be focused on. When you actually start formulating, you end up falling in love with a lot of different things available to you, because there's a lot of different options on the table.
Yes, and I think that's something that you really learn when you take this course, is that it's not just about learning to make a shampoo. It's learning the functions of the ingredients and how they pair so well together, and how they can maybe react with each other so that your conditioner won't be stable or will separate, or what will happen when they touch your scalp. For example, another one of my top 10 things that I learned was that, and you probably won't read this in too many places, is that cationic ingredients, like very soft, and even some of the BTMS emulsifiers, that like the conditioning cationic ingredients, can be really, really irritating for your scalp. That's your skin. So you want to combine them with other ingredients like non-ionic emulsifiers or soothing hydrators and moisturizers. Those are the types of things you need guidance for, and you need a course for. Those are the types of things that if you Google and you find a YouTube video or something that will tell you how to make a conditioner, they won't explain that. They won't explain to you about pH and why it really, really matters in making your hair products effective.
Yeah, this really is teaching you formulation and how to formulate the product, not giving you a DIY that you're just going to go away and copy. Like Suzanne is able to create the products that she's created because she knows how to work with the formulation and create something by herself, basically. And that's the difference.
Yeah, for sure. And cater it to your customers too, right? To your niche.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of niches, Sarah has a question. I don't know if you can tackle this one, Suzanne, but let's see. So Sarah says, can you advise on Afro kinky hair? I know this isn't like a, complete formulation live, but what would you say if you had to give a quick advice?
I would say that I really need more context to that question. So when you say advise on Afro kinky hair, what specifically do you mean? Do you mean how to treat it, how to care for it, how to wash it, maybe? Because those are all different aspects. Afro kinky hair is very difficult to look after, and I think it has been tackled in our community, in our online classroom. We've had many, many discussions about what textured hair really needs to be looked after. It can break easily. It can, you don't typically want to wash it, for example, as often as you would straight hair or even wavy hair. But you need a lot of protective ingredients. So it really depends, like your question. I would be able to give you a book of advice if you were a student and you had posted this in our study group. But yeah, so there is a lot to be learned about Afro and kinky hair. And I have to say that I'm really glad that some of our students and graduates are tackling specifically this type of hair, because it hasn't had that much media. It hasn't been out there.
It's starting to pick up now, so there really is a wave. Yeah, so now is the time really to, jump on that wave. They're becoming more popular, but you are right. They're kind of having their time now, which is, fantastic. Yeah, so I love it also when I see our online classroom and our Haircare Facebook group sharing images like that. And you can see they're really excited about it as well, which is great.
Yeah, so there is a way to look after it, to cleanse it, to condition it, to pre-poo it before you wash it, protect it, and styling it, and protecting the scalp, which needs nutrition. There's a lot that can be done, not only for this specific hair type, but for all hair types. But I would say that if that is your niche and that is something you're interested in, then you need to launch your brand, baby. Because we need you.
Yeah, go for it, Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay, great question from Sandy. Sandy says, I do think it is a good way to differentiate from other brands if good hair care brands can be created. There are really a lot of other products already. So it's not really a question, more of a statement, but there are like tons of products, and obviously you do need to differentiate. But how do you think you did that, Suzanne, with your brand? Like when you looked at it and you were ready, how do you think you kind of like stood out a little bit from those that might be next to you?
For me personally, as I mentioned, it was more about sustainability and biodegradable ingredients and the packaging being sustainable. Because I often tell, and I openly talk about this on my website, I will not produce a big plastic bottle of shampoo that smells like apples. That's not me. That's not what I do. I like creating products that are going to be gentle on the skin, gentle on the scalp, obviously, and on the hair, and with ingredients that are biodegradable in small, concentrated packages like this one, right? Like our powdered shampoo. So that's how I differentiate. I promote the fact that I use nature-derived ingredients, and I think that is a growing trend. And there will be many others that will be doing the same thing that I'm doing, and I welcome it. Bring it on.
Absolutely. I just want to bring this comment up. Sorry, I can't see your name. Sometimes when the comments come up from Facebook, it doesn't show. This says, this podcast, Suzanne was featured on a podcast that we did before Botanica. This podcast was very informative. Suzanne, I appreciate your insight about hair and scalp. Thank you, Lisa. I'm silicone-free myself. So thank you so much to whoever you are. Thank you. It's lovely when we get a little bit of feedback.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Okay, another person, don't know your name, but someone is asking, this is getting a little bit tutorial-ish, but we'll see if Suzanne knows. Can we use rice water in shampoo?
Sure.
Yeah?
Of course. Yes. This is the nice thing about it, is that when you're creating your hair products, you can use so many different hydrosols. So there you can use infusions. So infusions are, for example, when you take a dried herb and you add your boiled distilled water. It has to be cooled to a certain temperature so you won't scorch the herb, but you can create those and you can use those in your products. Now, depending on the country that you're in, you may have to get them from a cosmetic supplier, because some countries' regulations are stricter than others. In some countries, you must make sure that every ingredient has an SDS documentation. That's a safety data documentation. So you can't make it yourself in your kitchen and use it in your hair care products if you want to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in other countries, like here in Canada, for example, we can, but it's always a little bit sketchy. So, but rice water is amazing in a shampoo. It has a lot of glide. It provides slip to the hair, and it also protects the hair from too many harsh ingredients penetrating it. So I would say go for it.
I think you actually recommended that to me the other day when we were talking about something. It's now come back to me. Okay, great question from Monica. So Monica says, how to convince consumers to spend as much money on hair care as they do on skincare. As for most consumers, the hair is not that important compared to their skin. So basically, you know, a lot of people do spend a lot of money on skincare, maybe not at the moment so much on hair care, even though some people do spend a lot of money, you know, on their hair. I know a few. How would you tackle this? How would you convince someone to really think about their hair like they do their skin?
I think the way to convince a customer is by convincing them of the product you've created. Not necessarily, I mean, you have to tell them that their hair, there's a lot of value to their hair, not so much, not just because of now, but when they age, they want to make sure they have protected their scalp and protected the microbiome in the scalp in order to have hair for longer and have it stronger as they age. But if you create a naturally gorgeous product, I think that has a lot of value. And you have to remember that not everyone is your customer. Not everyone is your niche customer. There are some people buying shampoo bars for $4 at a dollar store. What I say to that is, you know what, let them. Not everybody has the same budget and not everybody has the same cash flow. But if you have to determine who your customer is, and actually the diploma in beauty business management with Formula Botanica is really good at tackling that. That's a course that you may want to look into if you're looking at branding and niche and how to develop your sales for your brand. You may want to look into that course as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If people in the comments could share the link to that course as well so people can look at it, because you are absolutely right, Suzanne, because it's not really about convincing someone to buy your product. It's about showing what's best on display and just saying, look, these are the reasons why you should buy it. And I think about that when I go into the bathroom and someone who I live with doesn't have the same kind of products that I have. And you just have to go, you know, you can put it in front of them, and if they don't want it, they don't want it. It's not about convincing them. It's just about finding your market, and then you don't need to convince anyone because they'll know.
Well, because I think that's a problem we all face when it comes to when you launching a brand and you're trying to sell your products and you think, oh, you know, people aren't buying, is that maybe you're not targeting to the right customer, or maybe your products don't stand out as much as they do, as much as you could make them stand out. And often many of our graduates or many of the graduates to be that are learning, and we say to them, think of a hero ingredient or a hero product that you're developing and focus on that. Because if you can launch with one single product that is spectacular that you haven't seen out there, then I think you have you're way ahead of many of us.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Suzanne. Okay, I'm not sure if we can answer this next one from iHas, but we will try it because this is a different kind of area. So, can you advise anyone with premature graying? Different area. What would you say?
Yeah, so I think there are, I'm studying trichology right now, so I'm working to get my certification in trichology. And one of the things we talk about is that premature aging can be for many reasons. One, it can be genetics, of course. So look at your family members, whether or not they have had premature graying. My brother-in-law went completely gray by the time he was 30. And I don't think he could have prevented that, for example, because that was in his genetics from his family. I think there are some things that you can do to prevent premature graying. One of them being, look at the products that you're using, look at the diet, look at the stress level. So all of those things will affect graying in your hair. as well as hair loss, hair fall, and hair thinning. So there's a lot to consider. It's not just a black and white answer. There's a lot of gray.
This might be if this person is really worried about it, you should see a professional ask. But yeah, there's so many variables on this one. It's such a big topic. But the important thing is just to rock whatever you have. You know, we've all got something going on. So rock it or don't rock it, but just do what makes you happy. Okay, so Denise, the lovely Denise, is back, and she asks, can a hair care product ever really be for every hair type?
Okay, so that question we answered when you were frozen.
Great.
So we hopefully answered that one. And my answer, just for any of you that joined late, was I said yes and I said no. So it depends on the hair product that you're creating.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, next one. Let's go to that one.
Okay. So Lisa may have been frozen, so I'm going to read this one out. Is there PPD-free plastic bottles or safe aluminum bottles? I personally don't use plastic packaging, so that may not be a question that I can ask. I don't use plastic packaging for a reason. I know that many plastic containers can be recycled, if not all of them. I find that the problem is that there is too much plastic out there, so a lot of the recycling plants cannot necessarily recycle it. So that's why I chose these aluminum containers like I have here. Aluminum is PPD free. They use a different type of liner inside that helps with protecting the aluminum from the product and the product from the aluminum. And when they are refined for reusing it, the liner gets completely dissolved as well. So it's very environmentally friendly. So I hope that at least answered a little bit of that question. Yes, for sure. Let me see here. Oh, and we answered that. Oops. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to some of these questions here. While Lisa comes back and saves the day. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and thank you for your beautiful comments. I am really happy that you're enjoying this. As I mentioned, there are some things that I learned in the Diploma in Organic Hair Care formulation that I wanted to just run by you and share with you, because I think it's really important to, when you're looking at adding onto your brand, it's really important to study with a school that is going to support you as well. When I launched my hair care brand, we had many students that supported me, that started following my Instagram, and those are all things that will make it possible for you to gain your confidence. So one tip that I wanted to add is that it is so much easier and rewarding to learn with others than on your own. So if you launch a brand, you need a tribe or a community. And I think there are ways of growing your brand and growing the popularity, I guess, of your brand, also by having other people that are in the same boat as you, other brand owners. Lisa's back.
Hi,
Hi, I can hear you. Yes.
I think maybe this might be the Restream gods telling
yes,
me I'm running out of luck. It's because you mentioned it, Suzanne, that's why it broke.
Yeah, that's right. I was just sharing, Lisa, with the importance of learning with others, and how Formula Botanica has been so amazing for me that way, and for many of our graduates, that when you actually launch your brand, you have a supportive community, people that are cheering you on. And there are so many thousands of students in the online classroom that have supported each other when they launched their brand.
It's not just in the online classroom, it's all of our communities across the board. People are always happy when someone launches, always, even if they're working on the same kind of, skincare brand, or, and all our brands look different. And I recommend you go and look at our graduates page if you can, just see the variety on there. And there's brands all over the world, all different types of people.
Yes.
And Suzanne is absolutely, correct. When you launch, there are other courses, other beauty kind of courses out there. But when you launch here, you're launching kind of with a community that supports you. You've got the community supporting you, the students supporting you, the tutors supporting you, the company supporting you. So you don't feel so on your own. You do feel that you're doing it with someone. You can always come back to any one of those 4 sectors as well for advice as well. So, Suzanne's 100% correct. And, the proof is sitting in front of you. Suzanne was a student. She went from going from that to being a student mentor, mentoring other students in the community, and is now graduated and achieved her own brand. So she's, the proof is sitting right in front of you, is absolutely 100% achievable. So yeah, Suzanne, you're absolutely correct. I just want to look at this question from Rosario. I don't know if you actually saw this one. Okay. And this is a great, this is a really important thing to cover as well. Rosario says, do we need to have any experience to enroll? So to enroll, generally, no. We do recommend if you do the Haircare course, you have a little bit of formulation experience, but please reach out to us. If you email us at hello@formulapbotanica.com, we can help you with that. And also go to the website, look at the course on the website, it gives a couple of details about it, because we do recommend you have a little bit of experience, but sometimes people's idea of how much that experience is can be different. So just reach out to us and ask us any questions. We are there. Our help desk have received every question in the book, and we get thousands of questions every week, and we answer every single one. So if you do have any questions about it, please do reach out to us. All you need to do is click the enroll link in the description, and I know the team have been sharing it as well. So if you've been thinking about enrolling, just click on that link. As soon as you click on that and your name and your email is down, then we can just keep you updated with everything, and it's so much easier. And you're not buying the course then, you're just clicking up to enroll. It's a commitment, but it's just a commitment so we can keep you informed when we open on the 6th of July, and hopefully you become one of our students like Suzanne.
Yes, I hope so. Yes, that would be great. And I do agree with you. When I first started with my first course with Formula Botanica, I actually went straight into the diploma in organic hair care formulation, but that's because I had previous experience with making emulsions and using surfactants and measuring pH and all of those things, which you really need to know about. So I would also suggest the same.
Great. I just want to take a moment to thank Suzanne, to thank everybody in the comments, and we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for your questions. That was really, really great having participation from you, and hearing what you're interested in, what you want to know about. Is really great. We love that. We love a bit of participation, and we love the questions about Suzanne as well, because she's taken her time to come and give us the knowledge and help you create a brand, even though she has, a brand of her own. That's just as an example of what it's like. It is very supportive and very giving in that way. And I want to end on a great comment from Sandy that says, found your website, amazing products.
Thank you so much. That's very sweet. And I'm really glad to have so many of you have joined and asked your questions. And yes, for sure. We're always here to help you. Make sure to follow us in the Skincare Entrepreneur Mastermind group on Facebook. And there you will see us mentoring. I'm actually coming on in 5 minutes to mentor some of you. So we will see you there.
Exactly. So if you're in the Facebook group, Suzanne will see you in there. Do use the link to enroll, and we will keep you informed of everything from Thursday, 6th of July. That is when we open up our individual courses. And take a look at our website and take a look at all the courses. If you're not interested in hair care, you're interested in kind of like a few other things or both, you can do 2 courses, you can do 3, you can just do 1. The options are endless. And we're always here to answer all your questions. So just send us an email at hello@formulapbotanica.com. And we will leave you there, and we'll see you on the next live that we do, which is coming up next week on the 20th. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.